So we were in Colorado last month, and I noticed that my LJ was kind of overheating, just idling while we were in the trails. Like I think we were on Holocaust, Patriot Trail, some Independence Trail, one of those two. And as we were just idling up, waiting for the obstacles, I noticed my LJ was kind of overheating. So it could be a combination of things. The high altitude, the mostly water-based coolant or water, or maybe even the fan blades were kind of bent. So I got to think maybe I should just order a new radiator. And I go, well, wait a minute, I just put a new radiator in because I just rebuilt this thing. But it's like I reached out to Griffin Thermal Products and ordered a aluminum radiator with a SPAL fan. And if you know anything about fans, SPAL, SPAL, is the fan of choice. They never fail. They always work. We had horror stories of people using other brand electronic fans. So I put it in, and this is what it looks like. It's actually running right now. I've been idling. I've been checking my transmission fluid. But it comes with a beautiful cap, and then it replaces the mechanical fan. And so the only thing I had to do besides the radiator and the SPAL fan that came with it and the shroud that came with the Griffin radiator was the temperature sender block. So I bought that on Amazon. It was like $18, and it has to be a 1.5 inch for the TJ, OD for the water hoses, and then 1/4 inch NPT for the temperature sensor. And it's a really easy wiring thing. The only thing I think I'm going to add is a manual override to turn on the fan all the time and leave it on. But yeah, I'm really happy with the Griffin radiator and fan, and it automatically just keeps, the sensor is at 185 sensor, so it's keeping it just below 200 on the temperature gauge. I don't know how accurate that is, but if you need a good thermal radiator solution, just get the Griffin. It's probably the best out there. What I really like about the construction of the Griffin radiators is that they use epoxy on the tanks at the edges. And in the past, on some of our race cars that were welded, they would always crack within a year. The vibration or whatever has always cracked at the corners because whatever happens, the corners on the radiators would always crack and leak, and there'd be micro fractures, but then the radiator wouldn't hold pressure any longer, and it causes all sorts of issues, overheating issues, and on the race car. So every year it was a deal that we had to replace the radiators. But then we got hooked up with Griffin, and ever since then it was one radiator, and that was it. We kept the spare. We bought a spare, but we only needed to have one radiator on that truck for 3 or 4 or 5 years, and that's kind of a testament of how good the Griffin radiator products are. They actually are built to withstand the type of punishment that we put on them on Ultra 4 racing. But the ones for the TJ/LJ, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Bolts right up. Let's see, what else did you have to do? And then you have to make a little bracket for the surge tank. Little bracket to hold the surge tank on. And that's not a big deal. I cut it from the old shroud. I cut the old shroud off and bolted it on there. And then, let's see, just the relay and the wiring. And then just the power. Super easy. Get it.